What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/EntitledPeople. This story's called Your Culture Allows That. Not in this country with my fiance. My best friend is a huge dude. He is scary if he isn't smiling, but he's a huge teddy bear, a great guy, and he'd give you the shirt off his back if you needed it. He's also brilliant. He was studying in Europe and met a girl from the Middle East, also studying in the UK. She was a petite, shy, soft-spoken young lady, and to everyone's surprise, the massive American and petite Middle Eastern beauty became a couple. He proposed as they neared graduation. She accepted, as her parents wanted her to return home, so they could arrange a fitting marriage as is their custom. She told them she'd met, fallen in love with, and wanted to marry an American student. That he was an American infidel was the icing on the cake. She returned to the States with him, and when she informed her mother that the marriage would be in a few months, that she was staying with his sisters, to her surprise, her mother contacted her and wanted to attend the wedding, saying that while her father is not happy, he is willing to accept that his daughter loves this man. Arrangements were made and her family arrived, were met at the airport and put up in a hotel near the venue. My friend and his girl came to visit and meet her family, father, mother, and brother. It was a bit tense at first, but they seemed to accept that my large friend was in love with their daughter and would move heaven and earth to make her happy. All seemed to go well. His sisters had taken her dress shopping and helped make all the arrangements. The venue was ready, the food, flowers, etc., and everyone seemed to be having a good time. Her brother was very quiet. Then, just before the ceremony, his fiancée was heading into the back to get into her wedding dress when her brother stopped her to talk. The talk included him registering his displeasure at her by grabbing her by her hair and slapping her for disrespecting their cultural history. Luckily, one of my friend's sisters saw this and called her brother. Now, while my friend is a teddy bear with those he likes and cares about, he's a grizzly bear if you hurt or threaten someone he cares about, let alone loves. A few seconds later, my friend arrives at full speed, snatches her brother by his throat and lifts him off the floor, and explains that if he ever touches her again in such a manner, he will break every bone in his body so many times they won't heal. Her parents are offended as it is their culture that women are to be submissive to male members of their family until they become subject to the chosen husband's rules and authority. My friend freely admits his lack of diplomatic skills and responded with, "First, we're not in your country, we're in mine. The rules here demand respect for everyone. Second, the reason that their culture had gone from the most learned in the world, mathematics, science, astronomy, etc., to a war-torn backwater place, I assume, was not growing past the rules of the 13th century when you had to protect wives and daughters from bands of brigands and rival tribes to understand that women can do just about anything a man can do, and just as well." He pointed out a picture of his sisters and himself skydiving. Needless to say, after the wedding, her family returned home and her brother is insulted, but his shy sister did point out that it was better to be offended than hospitalized, which is exactly what would have happened if he hurt her again. She also let her parents know that she did not want to live in a country where her family picked her a husband who could beat her just because he felt like it, and she was expected to accept that it was his right to abuse her as he saw fit. His family loves the girl dearly, and all his friends have taken to her and welcomed her to the States. She speaks to her mother on the phone and tells her they'll send her a plane ticket when they're gonna make her a grandmother. Her brother will not be welcome. Anyone ever hear of when in Rome, do as the Romans do? Wow. Yes, that whole thing with the brother beating the sister, because yeah, that's a very real thing that happens all the time. Very common. It's weird. It's very normalized, like in Pakistan and all those other countries and stuff. It's very normalized there, and it's very jarring, to come from America, which, it's still not perfect here, but you go over there and you realize how bad it can be and how bad it still is. But anyway, I'm glad that they found happiness, and hopefully the family from a foreign country place, they grow to stop being pieces of trash. Alright, this story's called My Entitled Sister Wants to Steal Our Deceased Grandma's Apartment Out From Under Me so the guy she's cheating on her husband with can move in instead and she can see him easier. Obligatory apology for being on mobile. Just needed a place to complain because I'm upset, so it's cool if nobody sees this or applies. Sorry if you do read this and things make no sense. No promises to be coherent. Anyway, hold on to your hats and get ready for a train wreck, fellas. My sister, mid-30s, is probably the worst case of entitled I've ever seen. She's always the victim, can do no wrong, and the world owes her for her imaginary suffering. This time, however, she's reached a new flippin' level. She's recently confessed to our mom and I that she started dating someone behind her husband's back. And to be honest, her husband is also a ginormous dirtbag. But just leave the guy, okay? I don't think anyone deserves to be cheated on. And even though he totally freaking sucks, an affair doesn't constitute as some kind of just punishment. It's messy, gross, and not worth it. Save everyone the extra headache. Now, our grandma passed away at the end of August. It hasn't even been a month since she passed, and since she was terminally ill, we did have time to discuss things and make arrangements for others. She lived in an apartment that's attached to our mom's house, and we talked about me moving into it after grandma passed, and everyone thought it was a good idea because my grandma had things like no-slip railings, kitchen tools, and gadgets for arthritic hands, etc. And I am also disabled and could benefit from the same equipment. Come to find out, my dip-dookie sister thinks it'd be a cool idea to have her marital affair move into our mom's property instead, so she can use our mom as some kind of cover for her affair. And I am absolutely repulsed and livid. We were all just starting to let my sister come around again because after grandma passed, she seemed like it had really affected her and she was really turning over a new leaf. But it's all because she wants her boyfriend to move in. I don't think anyone is going to fly with the idea. I just can't believe that she even thought it would be a viable option and something she could even suggest to us. Why does she just assume that we'll help her cheat on her husband? I want no part of it. I will not be an accomplice. Also, her justification for suggesting he move in is because, oh, P doesn't seem to be in much of a rush to get up there. Like, yeah, I found our grandma deceased less than a month ago. Sorry I haven't been in a hurry to erase grandma from her home. Sorry I haven't been sorting through all of her belongings and getting them ready to be rehomed or donated. I wish I could keep every trace of her. And the fact that I have to get rid of anything at all hurts. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry I haven't done it yet, but maybe try having a little freaking empathy. I've decided that I'm kicking my sister out of my life again. Each time I think she's capable of changing, she shows that she's still the same horrible, selfish person, and I'm done falling for the charade. Have fun with the inevitable divorce proceedings. Good luck explaining all this bullcrap to your kids, too. Thanks for reading if you read. Still can't believe my sister is not only a real human being who exists, but we share the same gene pool. Also, I'm 24 years old, so I've had a long time to come to terms with that fact. Still can't. That's okay. I don't know why, but that's okay. On a real note, very scummy behavior displayed by OP's sister here. Not good. Alright, this story's called Update! My entitled sister wants to steal our deceased grandma's apartment out from under me so the guy she's cheating on her husband with can move in instead and she can see him easier. Okay. I wanted to first start off by saying thank you to everyone who took the time to reach out with their advice and personal stories. You've all been so kind to me, I didn't expect so many people to comment and message with their guidance and words of encouragement. Thank you so much, I appreciate all of you. Secondly, I want to apologize for being missing in action these past couple of days, but it's only because there's been some good developments. me? There were so many good points made in my last thread that my mom and I hadn't really thought of, such as my sister potentially getting kicked out and needing somewhere to stay, waiting until after I've moved to tell her husband about the affair, ways to tell him, etc. And all of these things have been taken into consideration moving forward. My family and I have begun going through Grandma's belongings, and it's definitely been bittersweet, because it hurts to see her things go and her existence dissipate even more. But we have also found so many family photos and keepsakes and overall good memories. I even found a box that belonged to my great-grandpa, and it had his pocket watch and a locket with a photo of my great-grandma in it. My sister did manage to bully her way into the apartment for a few hours so she could pick out what keepsake she wanted, but joke's on her, because I hid all the things Grandma wouldn't have wanted her to take. She walked away with not much more than a decorative bowl. She is starting to drop the narrative that her boyfriend can move into the apartment now that she sees that we are serious about me being the new tenant. But she did make some little comments that let me know that it's not forgotten. She can plot all she wants though, because we're installing a security system and changing locks. So if she thinks she can sneak in or try to get her hands on anything else, she is sadly mistaken. My mom and I have decided that after I'm all moved into the apartment, we are going to tell her husband the truth about the affair and offer our support to him and the kids, and do whatever we can to help, whether it's emotional support, babysitting, whatever we can to make things easier when my sister's infidelity is brought to light. My sister might hate us for it, but at the end of the day, she is the victim of her own actions, and I am tired of sparing her feelings so she can continue to treat everyone around her like absolute garbage. Trash, I mean, sorry. And my mom agrees that enough is enough, and if we never hold her accountable for what she does, she'll continue to push the limits of what she can get away with. Some people suggested going the anonymous route with tipping her husband off, and while I thought that might have been a possibility, ultimately, I feel like that could cause some inner turmoil for him later. If he didn't know his wife was cheating, then who did? And just how many other people knew? Was it something she kept out in the open when he wasn't around and nobody respected enough to tell him personally? I don't want him to end up potentially torturing himself through speculation. Anyway, I think that's all there is to tell you guys for now. I just wanted to let you all know where some things have ended up and where they're headed, and thank you for the outpouring of support. It was much needed and very appreciated. I am glad that I won't have to hold on to such a horrible, ugly secret for much longer, and her husband can know the truth, and we will do what we can to help with the healing process. Also, if you've managed to read both of these novellas I've left about the situation, thank you for even taking the time. Love you all. Yes, tell on the whore. I'm joking, but yes, don't cheat on people. And if you know some cheating is going on, you might consider telling the victim. This story's called She Stomps Her Feet in a Tantrum. Here's the cast. There's me, colleague, entitled cow. Colleague and I are talking at the till of a small shop we both work at. Entitled cow is the only customer, and looking at the stuff we have in the accessory section, she calls over to us. How much is this? She's holding the first pair of earrings on a hook, and the cost is on there, £2. Most of the items on that hook will be £2. Give me the long ones at the back. So we take them all off till we get to them. Entitled cow is being impatient, and she says to just rip them off. We tell her we can't do that as we won't be able to hang them back up again. We get to the ones she wants, and I tell her they are £3. You told me that they were all £2 on that hook. I said most of the items were £2, not all of them. I'll have them for £2. No, I can't do that as they were only put out last week and can't be reduced yet. I will pay no more than $2.50. Sorry, madam, but no. She goes over to the till area. Colleague whispers that she must think it's a bargain hunt, a British TV show. She sees him talk and demands to know what he said. He said that people are always looking for a bargain. She walks a little way back towards us. She then says, I will have them for £2. Again, no, madam, I can't do that for you. I want to see the manager now, I tell her with a smirk. I'm in charge, ma'am. That's when she jumps up and stomps her feet down, shaking the walls by her. So $50, that's what I'll pay, she said after she finished stomping. I said no again, and then she said something that baffled me. Okay, I'll have them for £2. No, ma'am. Bring them to me. So I do. I put them on the counter. She picks them up, then throws them down with force, but didn't break anything. No, I don't want them. She sees something under the counter. Show me them. It's a see-through bag of jewelry we haven't sorted yet. So I show her each one as I'm taking them out. No, I don't want them. But she says it as if I showed them her and it offended her. Then she walked off saying, God bless you. Thank you, you too. She spun around. What did you say to me? She practically spat the words out. I said thank you and you too. I think she was trying to pull something to try and get me to insult her or something so she could demand a discount or get me in trouble from upper management. Edit. She came back today. Wanted £3 for 50p. I told her no. She slammed her hand on our glass counter. I again told her no. She didn't argue any further. Paid full for it. What a strange encounter. Who does stuff like that? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.